So you're mentioning of the Staples Center and Jason Blair and Jack Kelly leads to the question, is journalism less ethical than it used to be because we're seeing all these big journalism ethics scandals, or is it more ethical and it's just that there's more scrutiny now and we catch the perpetrators more than we might have in the past? Or do you think it's more complicated that journalism is more ethical in some ways but less ethical in other ways?
I see it as more ethical across the board, and I think that the fact that Jason Blair, Jack Kelly gets the treatment it does is that it is unusual today, and Romanesco on the pointer.org website that Romanesco collects transgressions, among other things, anything that gets in the paper. And most editors today feel that if they have a plagiarist or a fabricator, that they not only had to deal with that in a personnel standpoint, but they also had to publicize it because the audience has been misled. When that goes online, as it all does today, then Romanesco's search engines pick it up, and now everybody in the country knows about it. So I think all of that leads to an impression, which probably is shared by the public, that that journalists are crooks. Every time you pick up a paper, you're reading about somebody doing something like that. Well, that too is an exaggeration, but the fact is that when I started in the business, that was simply didn't meet the standard of news because it wasn't unusual. Now it is. So now it gets publicity, it creates an erroneous impression. A few years ago, when we had a spate, this was 1998, when there were a series of ethical transgressions that were very high profile, there were some polls done, and the public thought that they do it all the time. But of course, we knew otherwise, and I think that it's only got better. More and more journalists today are better educated, and more of them have courses such as one you teach here at Penn State. So they've been exposed to this sort of thing. And I think that they have more practice in making decisions, and they've worked with case studies, and they know the principles, and they know what the standards of the profession are. So I would have to think that there's far, far less ethical transgressions today.